Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome on in. Hi, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Magick Bumbun, and as you can tell by the title of today's video, from the thumbnail, the title, that it is a review or an overview, I want to say, more like that, of the Witching Hour Oracle. Witching Hour Oracle by, I believe you pronounce it, Lorraine Anderson. Okay, if that name does sound familiar to you, she is a co-creator of the Season of the Witch Oracle decks. This is, I believe this was the first one, but they have many different ones out there, and there's still actually more coming out. But we're not focusing on that. We're focusing on just the Witching Hour Oracle. Okay, so before I get into that, I just want to put this out there. By the time this video goes live, it should be on a Wednesday, January 24th, and on Wednesday, January 25th of 2024, I am hosting a full moon group ritual. It is the Magic Circle. We're working with that full moon in Leo energy. All the information that you would want to know will be in the description box. So if you would like to join in on the Magic Circle, I'd love to have you. Otherwise, just have a wonderful full moon experience. Okay, so that is the only thing that's happening this week, and I just wanted to put that out there. We're working with, like I said, confidence, releasing fear, releasing idleness, stagnant energy. We like to use that full moon energy for releasing a lot so we can cultivate energy, cultivate bravery, cultivate fearlessness, cultivate patience and endurance. So if you are intrigued by that, and like again, you want to know more information, here's my Ko-fi link right here. It's also in the description box, and there is a link, if it is still open, to join the Magic Circle so you can read more information depending whenever you're seeing this video. But I do host Magic Circle events twice a month, every new and full moon, for $11.11. Okay, all right, going now back to what I'm talking about for the Witching Hour Oracle. When I talk about this as a review, I'm actually not going to be giving it any sort of rating. I just want to go over it and kind of show what the guidebook looks like, what you can expect from the guidebook, some of pictures from the deck itself, show you how it is, and at the end of it, we're going to do a mini little reading at the end. It won't be a full spread or anything like that, but we are going to find out, and I'll tell you my experience with this deck. The reason why I don't want to give it a review is just because I find that some people really, like, it might be an oracle deck that I love, but someone else may not find it very useful. Whether you don't connect with the guidebook, you don't connect with the words on the oracle, like what they represent. There's 44 cards in here. I should have started with that too. There's 44 cards in here, and some people, just like I said, you might vibe with the deck. It may not be something you're called to use. This is just kind of just like showing it to you. I have no association at all whatsoever with the publisher, with the artist, with the author, nothing. I am not associated at all with this. I bought this with my own money. It was not sent to me. Don't even have an affiliate link, nothing like that. So this is just my honest opinion on the deck, and of course you can disagree, we can have a conversation about it, just being civil conversation, but I don't think that this deck should cause that kind of mayhem, at least I hope not. I just wanted to show you how pretty this deck is, and just like I've been having a great time with it. So if that's all you needed to know, that's it, but stick around. At the end of it, we'll do a reading with it. So let's get into the review. Okay, so let's start into this overview of this deck. Again, this is the box for it. It is matte. This is what it looks like in the inside. That is very bright with my ring lights. I apologize. Let me kind of hold it back here. It is like a lime yellow color. And if you didn't realize it, it's the same color as this. As you see, is really bright on my ring lights. I apologize. And also, as the edging for this deck, this is edged, and that is not white. It is actually that bright lime color. It almost looks like it glows in the dark. Okay, so that's just the box for it. It's very standard, we like it. It fits everything, fits in the shelf really nicely. It matches the other ones as well. So if you are concerned about that, it is not a weird shape or anything. It can fit nicely on your shelf. Here is the guidebook. Now, it does give a lot of really great information in here. It has a really good amount of spreads that you can do in here. And what I think is really nice with this deck, and I will just use one card as an example, When you, let me just start with this one we have, or maybe YouTube might not like that one, but we start with this one. This one says the blood trail magnificence. So it gives you a keyword on the card right there. And then when you would open it up, it'll go by numbers. So it'll be easy to find. Obviously, these two are not the same number. And how it is set up, it gives you a little picture of the card, gives you keywords, and tells you a tarot companion. So if you are using a tarot, because what I like to do is I like to do tarot first and then add additional oracle cards. So if you're finding the description of this card matches like a tarot card, because there is somewhere within all of the cards that are in front of me right now, there is, here we go, a high priestess card. And so like it would, a tarot companion would be a high priestess card or whatever else is described, okay? And then it gives you obviously like an explanation, and it's not just major arcana. Like I'm looking at the familiar right here, and it says the tarot companion would be the Two of Cups. So it's not just like a tarot companion of just major arcanas. I know some decks will just do that. They'll just have something similar to major arcanas. Now what's additional to this, besides giving a description and then telling you specifically if you drew this card this is what it means, is that it has companion cards. So let's say you're doing a 3-card pull and you're reading the guidebook, you would go over here to, if my camera will work with me, companion cards. And if you drew any of the other ones, there's almost about like typically always 1 card. I find it, they'll have up to 3 cards in there, and you can see the pairing. So if you see like you drew, you know, these 2 cards together, as above so below, and the blood, what is it, the blood trail, and you went to look up as above so below, it could say like, hey, if you pick this one, it will be, you know, this is what it would mean. It will tell you what those 2 cards mean together, just to kind of help you learn them and see how they could be read together. Not necessarily, it won't be there for every card. So it's just, it'll pick just a few, like I said, up to 3 cards that they find that they work really well together, or they have a direct message for it. Okay, so I find that really nice because that's actually like how I read tarot. So that's probably why I really connect with this deck so much, is that when I'm reading tarot cards, sometimes like you can get a lot of information from 1 card, but I like to read it as a story. I like to see how the cards interact with each other. Are the figures in the cards facing each other? Are they facing away from each other? Is there anyone even in this card? Is there, you know, 3 people in one, you know, that sort of stuff. Like, you know, you're just trying to see if they're even from the same, you know, same suite, you know, or suit, sorry. So that's just like how I like read it that way. Let me show you some of the cards here. I'm gonna put those 2 to the side. It's like I have all these cards. So something that's coming very soon, actually. So if you're watching this video, unless you are on Twitch, you might have seen this already. I actually got a secondary camera. I got this camera in here, and it will help. It'll be face down, have some lights on it so that you can see what's in front of me. So it's not just this all the time, and I'm really excited about it. But unfortunately I got the camera today, but the stand for it is not coming for a few more days, so I gotta wait. And hopefully by the next time you see a YouTube video being posted, hopefully, fingers crossed, you will have for that reading, because I think this should be a pick a card reading. You'll be able to see all the cards down below, so that'll be fun. Anyways, for right now, I am going to be picking up the cards to show you to show you all the different types of artwork in here. This is the Witch's Brew, Seek Alternative Solutions, Moon Water, which is telling you to reset, and the Elements, going back to the basics. In the beginning of the guidebook, it kind of shows like a story of how the author felt and like how it relates to the cards, so you can read that to kind of see the journey through them. But this deck can really tell you more about self-acceptance. We have like the initiation. You got cards that just tell you yes, you want to do the thing. You know, we have deep being, self-love and acceptance. And then you have cards like this. You've got cards like raising vibrations, casting the circle. And then you have poison thorn, which is low vibration. So it's not just all positivity. It does talk about things that are just not working for you, or things to be aware about. Like, here we go. It was this deck right here. You've got prying eyes. Someone has their eyes on you, whether it's out of jealousy or someone's just like watching your social media. You've got the broken branch, which is heartache. Midnight Moth, which is distraction. Bewitched, you're under a spell. Cloak and Dagger, deception. So it's not just all positivity. If you're trying to like read about a situation and you want to see if there's any negative outcomes, you can get stuff like that as well. There are some neutral cards in here, and then like I said, you get some positive cards. So you got like Honoring the Cycle, Season of the Witch, the Witching Hour for favorable circumstances. Okay, there's a lot of cards that are really dedicating to initiation. You've got Salt and Boundaries, again, more of like a neutral card. A lot of cards are dedicated to, I was just going to say self-care, and we've got Bathing in the River. It actually says self-care in there. Witching Herbs for nourishment. The first step is knowing yourself, taking that first step. A lot of Ascension type cards, A Secret Trail, Sacred Vows, which is commitments. Like, the artwork is so beautiful in here too. You know, it is so beautiful. It's very definitely connected. Like, these two cards are, we've got the Forest, like you can see how they're like together, and then we have Witch of the Woods Retreat. The Forest says seeing the bigger picture, and it's like, there is that, even the cabin, the cabin in over here down below right there, if you can see it. Like, are they together? It's just kind of like cool to see that. There is one thing that strikes me as very interesting. I'd have to go in the guidebook and read this, but you have the Flames, which looks very powerful, and then you have Feeding Crows. However, both of them, as their key word, says transformation. Like, reading it double checking, like, did I read that wrong? No, both say transformation. So it's like, what does it mean by that type of transformation? But the guidebook is so thorough that, like, you're going to see the differences in there. Okay, so that'd be like the only thing that makes me question anything about this deck, is just like those two particular cards. But we find that there's a lot of cards in there that, you know, maybe have similar vibes, and other Oracle decks do the same thing. So overall, like I said, how I use this deck is I do tarot cards, and then I'll pull this deck here, which is kind of like extra confirmation on what I just did for the tarot. I will see like those same cards, because remember, they have tarot companions. So if I have a tarot card that's like showing up, and sometimes I'll even pull from a separate tarot deck and that same card will show up there, this could be a third one where I pop it up and then it will say, hey, the tarot companion is this card, which I've seen, which is like spirits like trying to pound this into you, be like, this is the lesson. If you don't take anything else from it, let it be this card. So I find that it's very on point. I don't know, we just vibe very well. Me and this deck vibe very well, where I find that every time I do a reading with it, so far, every time I've done a reading, I've used it on this channel actually a few times, and I have read directly from the guidebook to kind of like help me, you know, interpret it, because it's still a brand new deck for me. So, you know, there's no harm. Use the guidebook. There's no shame. There's no harm. Use it when you need to, you know? But I don't think it's something that you need to be tied to the guidebook. The guidebook kind of just like really gives you like a lot of that information, and can really, it gives you direct guidance. Do you need it? No. The word on here and the imagery enough, like broken branch and heartache, like you can get the vibes from that. And it's always like based off of your intuition. It's based off of, you know, how the card, the illustration makes you feel, the colors in the card. Like, you can tell how this is gloom and how that matches that heartache and whatnot, versus, oh, that's another good example, put that to the side, versus this one, which YouTube won't like it. It's not nudity, it's not, but like you can kind of see it right there, but that's not nudity. But I'm a little cautious sometimes when it comes to YouTube. Let's see, I keep picking up Moon Water. I'm trying to pick a different one that is more bright. What you kind of see from here is the Witching Hour, favorable circumstances. Like, there's a lot of movement. It's very bright in that card. A lot of magic happening in the background. And every time I see Witch's Brew, I want tea. Every single time. Like, this is so freaking beautiful. The color of that tea, I want that. So, yeah. So, there's that. Let me think. Oh, this is another example of what I'm saying, like dark and gloomy. It says enter at your own risk, and it's like take a pause. The numbers you can also use for numerology, or you can see if you're saying numbers pop up a lot too, since there's numbers on the cards. Although it's really helpful if you are going to use the guidebook, like that you can find it very quickly. Some oracle decks make it difficult. They don't put anything in alphabetical order. They have their own order, which is nice, it's unique, but when you're like, I don't know what this means and I want to look it up, it makes it kind of difficult. Let me think before we get into the reading. We're going to do a reading with this deck. We're going to find out what we need to know, and again, I might need to use the guidebook, and that's absolutely fine. Overall thoughts of this deck, like I said, I've used it many times so far, so many times. You can use it on its own, and reversals. If you're questioning, does it use reversals? It is not intended for reversals, but it does say in the book that if it comes out in reversed and like you're flipping through the deck, it comes out reversed, it falls down and a card is reversed, it just means take extra notice of that card. And you can always use your own, like how you read tarot, how you would like read, because some people read reversals and tarot very differently. They sometimes say like, hey, if it's in reverse, it means it's extra potent, or which is kind of like the take in that this deck is saying to do. Or it can be like, oh, it's completely opposite of what it means in reverse. So just take with that what you will. I just don't use it as reversals. I just don't. Which I think is also like the big takeaway from this too, is just don't use it, or just pick it up, put it back in, order. Right side up. You don't have to read it as reversals. Don't stress yourself out, especially if you're new to it. Don't stress yourself out about it if you're still trying to learn it, trying to find out how to use it. It's really good for the spread of like where you are right now. It's one of my favorites to use, like where you are right now, where you want to be, and what will help you get there. I think it's really great for that because it's about a journey, right? So it's like, where are you on your journey? But I find myself using it just almost for any question that comes up. I think it's a very valuable tool. No regrets basically purchasing it. That's why I'm not really like reviewing it. There we go. As in like, do I give it like like a 5-star rating and whatnot, because I find it very valuable. Some other people may not find it very valuable. Maybe you already have a deck that's similar to it and whatnot. Okay, so first up we have here with our reading is Mud and Moss, which is stagnation, very stagnant energy. And this could be collecting, because while I'm recording this, like I said, we're going to a full moon, which actually we're using to help, burst this energy, helping to get things flowing again. So where we want to be is we have Witch of the Woods, which is retreat. This is telling me more of like wanting to take a retreat, wanting to rest and relaxation, which full moons and even new moons can do that to some people. You need some extra sleep. And then this is the card that you two may not like too much, but this is Flying Ointment, Let Loose, just feeling free, feeling vibrant. And what can help do that is this, the card of the bottom of the deck is Dancing, Freedom, just being able to dance at home, dance, just playing some music, feeling that lightness, feeling like, we're stressing out, maybe we need to sing, maybe we need to dance, we just need to move to get rid of that stagnant energy that we might be feeling right now. Okay, needing to have that rest, and especially if you have been moving around a lot, like, you need to be able to rest with friends, just chit chat, have, a good time. Like it says, letting it loose. Now I'm going to go to the guidebook. I'm going to see if there's any cards that are like as a companion one. I might like do a little skip in the video, maybe. So I usually like to leave it as a solid thing. I don't think there's any problem with skipping through it, but if I'm taking too long, I will skip. And I do have to take a peek. Nothing with Mud and Moss. Oh, it does. Okay, it does pair with Flying Ointment and Witch of the Woods. This is the one that was calling to me the most, was to do number 21, Flying Ointment, or yeah, Flying Ointment. It's pairs with Witch of the Woods, so it says indication of travel, consider a trip or relocating. I think that's pretty perfect. Yeah, 20 doesn't pair with anything, and let me just check 38 if Witch of the Woods, if it does. with anything that is here. Nothing that is here. This one only has 2, but interesting as well with the Witch of the Woods, which you may have gotten the vibes from this with this retreat. It is connected to the Hermit card. So then you would also, if you remember that, you could be like, okay, well, the Hermit means to me like Virgo energy, wanting to be by yourself, wanting, you know, perhaps if you wanted to, like I said, dance by yourself, you don't want anyone else to view this or to watch with you, or you just want close friends, you don't want a huge group, maybe you've been spending a lot of time out and you just want to have that retreat. I actually am now curious which card goes with Flying Ointment. 3 of Cups. Okay, 3 of Cups. And that kind of gives like that vibes, which I think matches really well with that Dance and Freedom card. Okay, like getting together. Like I know that seems like, well, what is it? Be by yourself or not? Some people find recharging and retreating with a very small group, close friends, where you can air things out, you can talk about your problems, you can find solutions with others. You know, if you've been feeling very stagnant, you want to get together with somebody and you can talk things through. Some people find that recharge, being able to get guidance and give guidance. That's how they find it. Some other people though might be finding more of like, you want to let loose by being by yourself. Maybe you want to dance on your own. You want to you need to like recharge and what's the word I'm looking for? Not just recharging. I know it's like retreat is right in front of here, but it's kind of like you want to set yourself back on your own path. You want to, well, like this, reset. I think that's the word I'm looking for. I keep looking at retreat. I'm like, that's not the word. It's reset yourself. I just kind of get that vibes of like, you know, letting loose and being able to do things, to indulge in things that you can do on your own. You can get books, you can read, you can just, you know, be able to vibe out by yourself, or just like with your partner if you have a partner, like, you know, you just want that moment. Even a little furry companion, or maybe a non-furry companion that you can just chill and relax with, okay? So that's how I would use, well, that's how I use the deck on its own. Like I said, I like it more with a tarot, but you don't have to use it, okay? All right, that was the little mini reading that we're doing with this deck. Let me know what you think of this. Do you think you're going to add it to your list? Do you own it? Do you love it? Would you regret it? You know, it's completely valid to have all those opinions. You know, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. Like I said, I'm not attached to anything with this deck besides it using it as a tool that I bought for myself, okay? Let me know if you kind of like this type of review about this deck. I know it'll get better when I have the camera, so you can kind of see more of the cards as they're laying there. And I was considering potentially, because a lot of guidebooks, I think almost every single guidebook I've gotten for certain decks, almost everyone, have like spreads. So I'm considering maybe for next time we try out a spread that's in the guidebook, maybe like one of the smaller ones, you know, like they have a weekly self-care check-in or finding your coven, getting to know new friends. You know, maybe we can do one of those during the review. If that's something you're interested in, please let me know, and please be sure to check out my Ko-fi, especially if you want a private reading with me. If you would like to book a private reading with me, if you want to join for the Magic Circle, if there's still time. Remember, if you missed this one, that's fine. I host it every new and full moon, so there's still opportunities to join in for Magic Circle events, for group rituals, for candle magic, for a live tarot and oracle reading that I do the night of that new or full moon, okay? It is open to international clients, so you do not have to be present for the live to receive the magic. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful happy time zones, okay? Awkwardly end this video. Okay, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.